Hans Wormhat. In this video, what I want to do is I want to explain the secret, the big secret, and I want to explain it as simply as possible. It's not just boys and girls, and that's the big secret. There aren't just boys and girls. It's a little bit more complicated than that. It's not too much more complicated than that, but it's not just boys and girls. All around you, your entire life, you've been surrounded by people who probably shouldn't just be defined as a boy or a girl. I believe that in the Bible, they are referred to as eunuchs, and especially eunuchs made in the mother's womb. And the eunuchs are in control now. They have power now. That's the whole idea behind the tables have turned. The eunuchs used to be the slave class, and the normal humans probably used to be the rulers over them. But the tables have turned now, everything's been flipped upside down, and all the eunuchs have decided together to keep it a secret, to hide the secret, to burn books, and to bury the past, and to make a whole new world where there is no such thing as eunuchs, there's just boys and girls. Well, now they're going into crazy gender fluid stuff, but don't need to get into that now. The big secret is it's not just boys and girls. It's a little more complicated, but it's not too much more complicated. And in this video, I don't want to get into the minutia of the differences between all these things because I have so many videos out here talking about the differences. It's just I want to come at this from a simple explanation. There are people out there who were born with a penis and they have a male skeleton. This is the most rare by far. And I guess I could get into this. That's part of the master plan is to eliminate the male. And a lot of people don't understand that aspect of it. A lot of people, they talk about the total reverse aspect of that. A lot of transvestigators, especially because they're gatekeepers, they will say, oh, it's a war against women, which is just really not true because they use the women to breed. Probably the biggest thing is this category up here in the top left is the most rare by far. You will be hard pressed to find somebody out there who has the bone structure of a male and who was born with a penis. Now, this bottom left corner is the most common thing that you'll see. I mean, maybe this and regular biofemales. And notice how really what the Freemartin is, it's like a taller, larger version of the female. If you just look at these, see these connections? A real female looks like a Freemartin, just the Freemartin's been stretched out. And the Sawyer castrato looks just like a male, but usually they're a little stunted. And yeah, that's it. That's the big secret. There's actually 4 groups of people out there when you go outside. It's not the case that everybody comes in all shapes and sizes. Men, a man skeleton is a man skeleton and a female skeleton is a female skeleton. The genitals that you're born with can be changed. And so down here, Freemartins, they often are born with a penis. But when they grow up, you will see that they have a female skeleton. If in your mind you want to just think that that person is male, that's your decision, I guess. Just in both what I believe is the truth is that up here you have, I don't want to say normal, but you have I don't know, skeleton matching genitals up here, people, and these are the muggles up top. And then down here, we got the witches and the wizards and the eunuchs. And it's all flipped. That's the truth as simply as I can put it. And the witches and the wizards, they keep it secret. They got to keep it like a secret. They treat it as a medical condition, and think of the way that people treat medical conditions. Think of the way that people would treat an intersex condition. It would be a secret between that person and the doctors, which are priests of this Baphomet religion. They keep it like a secret and they don't tell anybody. But there's enough of them out there that if you're in the club, if you're intersex, you know it because you get taught about this stuff. And the normal humans usually get left in the dark. And I guess now it's worth taking a pause, and I should just apologize here. The more you learn, the more things make sense and the simpler they get. If I could go back and redo everything, I would probably be a little bit nicer. Still, making fun of people, comedy, making fun of it, it's a way to cope with things that are really painful. And that's one of the reasons that the inverts, they make jokes about it constantly. When you wake up, when you watch TV, you're like, you get so sick of it. Why are you guys constantly making jokes about it? It's coping. They're coping with the fact that they're inverted. And that, I mean, it's just their whole life, really. It's this alter. Think of Harry Potter again. Why is stuff like Harry Potter so popular? It's because it's an allegory for a life that these people truly live. They, the inverts really do live in this Hogwarts reality where they understand the second meaning to the in jokes. They throw the same hand signs to one another. They're speaking languages that other people aren't listening to. They're swinging their magic wands around, but they just don't have a stick in their hand. And I guess I started this out apologizing because when you see that, I don't know, I just don't really like calling them trannies all the time anymore. It's probably better to, I mean, you've probably seen that I really call them free martins and swire or castrato, that type of thing. They are born into it usually, so it usually isn't their fault, but they do end up going along with the system, and I've never seen one of these inverts dissent. I still haven't, because they have a very strong oral code. They don't write this stuff down. At least they don't typically write this stuff down. They write it down in allegories, and that's why fiction is so full of this stuff. The first rule of Tranny Club is you don't talk about Tranny Club. There I go saying the T word again. Um, but yeah, that's basically it. This is what outside looks like. The jungle out there. And when you wake up, it's so simple. It's just so simple. Genitals do not determine gender. And I've had videos on this before, and it's just the truth. It's more complicated than just your genitals. It's not just about whether you're born with a penis. It's not just about whether you're born with a vagina. Skulls and bones. There's a reason that it's called the skulls and bones. Somebody pointed this out to me. It's actually really brilliant, and it's in your face. Of course, the truth is presented in plain sight. Notice how this leg bone looks different than this leg bone. Like this has this part sticking out. This has this part sticking out. This one looks bigger. So maybe this is like a male femur and this is a female femur. I'm not 100% sure. But then also the skull looks like half of it is different than the other half. Like this looks like a larger cheekbone over here and a larger brow bone. So this half would be a male skull and this half would be a female skull. Skulls and bones, understanding human anatomy. Another thing, when you wake up, you realize in the media, they're always talking about people's bone structure, and it's because it is very important. It's this secret. Look at the way that they're crossing their legs, like women, because they are women. Of course, these are photoshopped on, but look, we got the Illuminati, and we have a bunch of free martins. It's very simple. It all comes down to body proportion. This is why and body proportion to yourself. This free martin might have just as big shoulders as this male, but in proportion to itself, notice how it looks like Shrek. It just looks like Shrek to me. Because everything in the media is inverted so that they can hide in plain sight. Because from birth, you've just been bombarded by the eunuchs so that they can blend in. Please tell me that's not your penis, is New Zealand's official quote of the year. Written by Jess Hardyman. And of course, when you wake up, you learn all their little tricks, presenting you the truth in plain sight, and playing with the names, putting the boy name in with the girl name, the color orange, of course, and the moon. And of course, the ever-present watch. They think of themselves as the watchers. This is a male pretending to be pregnant. So I mean, I guess this is there. It is more than there's just four. Those are the four main classes, but then you got just the cross dressers. I mean, this is just a dude has a penis. It's not a Swire syndrome. It's a dude who's cross dressing. Cross dressing is a big part of Babylon. This guy, this Free Martin over here, look, no neck, long neck. The reason you couldn't see it is because you were surrounded by it from birth, and nobody ever told you about it unless you were one of them. Black and white checkerboard. Of course, Michael Obama on the Ellen Show. These are humiliation rituals. They put the secret out there in plain sight. It's part of their MO. It's part of how they operate. And it goes both ways. It's not just that there's a lot of quote unquote women out there who have penises. Donna Trump absolutely has a vagina and has given birth naturally. From what I mean, look at these hips. They're enormous. Notice how they're always mocking and joking about, oh, small hands. You got small hands. What do they also always joke about? Oh, orange. Donna Trump is our orange president. What do you know? Orange 33. Quickly going into the medical aspect of it and the Satanist aspect of it. Yes, a lot of these inverts they're Satanists and proudly, and today they're even just out in the open. You can spend 10 minutes going through YouTube comments and you'll see people with Baphomet icons as their YouTube icon. But just look here, this is the main thing. Notice the medical staff, or whatever you call this, with the two serpents. It's right at the crotch. It's right at the genitals. It's hinting at this in utero transgenderism thing. The black snake, it usually looks like a darker snake and a lighter snake, so they get the duality there. Male, female, black, white, up is down, good is evil. How are doctors related with this symbol? Here's your answer. Through the Baphomet. Your doctors are Baphomet worshippers, and they keep the secret. Doctors are inverted. They are eunuchs. They are priests of the Baphomet. Does this look like a man? If you're asleep at night because they have short hair, that's literally it. That's the only thing that is masculine about this is short hair. And that's how asleep we were. This is not a famous doctor, so I just want to show you that. I mean, look, you can just see that that's a man. It's really bad. These people are all around you. Look at the neck. Tracheal shave. Doctors are such a big part of this because they require surgical procedures. And this is where, I mean, going back to the apology where I got kind of sidetracked. Is it fair to call somebody like this a tranny if what they are is a Swire syndrome and what they're doing is they're using plastic surgery to pass better because they want to be a she, her. And it's also part of, they always lead the opposition. So they lead the opposition. The people who screech the loudest about, oh, I hate trannies, I've never ever come out and said the disgusting things that people say. I mean, I don't even want to say them, but I'll just say them so that I can say it. People try to say, oh, none of these trannies are going to be saved. They're all just doomed. They're all horrible people. We should just go do violent things to the trannies. I have never said that, and I will never say that. And the only people saying that are inverted themselves. And so I try to not be mean about it anymore. Really, you shouldn't be mean about somebody who has an intersex condition and they're using plastic surgery. I don't know, is using plastic surgery a sin? Maybe. It's very vain. It's vanity. Is not telling people about your intersex condition a sin? Probably by the time you're getting in relationships with normal people. But most of the people who are out there being very mean towards trannies are inverted themselves. When I was asleep, I was very Blue Lodge. I thought that all this stuff was fine. I mean, seeing a tranny who now I would know is like a double tranny, going back to what somebody with an intersex condition who wants to be the different gender. I didn't used to, I don't know, have strong negative opinions. I just thought it was kind of a freak show thing. But now, when you know the truth, okay, what is it? Almost every single tranny out there, so somebody who's like, I used to be a man, now I'm living as a woman, almost every single person who's like that, what it is, it's a free martin who now wants to live as a woman. And I don't have a problem with that anymore. I don't think I support hormone therapy or surgery personally, but that's a choice they have for themselves, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be free martins who are going to be the most outwardly vocal shaming transgenders. And now that I know the truth, now that I actually understand what's happening and how common intersex conditions are, if somebody wants to go be their other gender, I don't have a problem with it. And I think that they can still be saved. Being saved isn't about whether or not you're a eunuch, it's whether or not you follow Jesus Christ and you seek after God and you want to do God's will more than anything. That was kind of a tangent, but I think I said a lot of things that were really important. Normal people, me, triangle plus line plus circle. You've seen so many people into this. This is clearly an alchemical symbol. The elder wand, probably male, obviously. The circle, female, and then we got the triangle. Put them all together. It's some sort of hermaphrodite symbol, some sort of yin yang, male, female. It's all around you. You've been surrounded by this symbolism. And they tell you to not take this stuff seriously. When you go to school, they try to tell you that symbolism, it's just for literature and it's not something to be taken seriously. No, symbolism is all around you. Speaking in codes and colors and gematria, that stuff is very real. They just try to program you to think that you're a lunatic if you pay attention to orange or 33. We must keep our eunuch society hidden from the non-eunuchs. Why? I have the same question. Why? If you're pushing all this tranny stuff, tranny acceptance, transgender acceptance, why not just come out with the truth, not this skewed version of the truth? They're trying to sell a skewed version of the truth where anybody can be whoever they want to be, rather than telling you the simple truth of there's a ton of intersex people around you. Some of them have decided that they want to go back. They don't want to be a free martin. They want to be a woman with a penis. And see, I don't agree with starting to chop parts off and all that kind of stuff. Personally, I think that it makes most sense if a free martin wants to live as a woman, but keep their penis and disclose. I mean, by the time you're keeping your penis, it's kind of hard to not disclose it by the time you're getting physical with people. So there you go. It solves itself. No muggles. No non-inverts are allowed to know the secrets of the inverts. Girls will be boys and boys will be girls. It's a mixed up, muddled up, shook up world. In the 1950s, when men were men and women knew when to shut the. So of course the real saying is when men were men and women were women. Well, I'll tell you, it's been way longer than the 1950s. This in utero transgenderism thing. Look at the far, far apart eyes and the drag queen eyebrows. Those eyebrows so far away from the eyes. This is a free martin and this is a strat. Long neck, short neck, chubby, double chin, it's female. But just that, the quote, when men were men and women were women, they're joking about all these eunuchs. The cat is out of the bag. The orange cat is out of the bag. They even put little devil horns on the at sign. They've been hiding in plain sight this whole time. A lot of times the things that are very important to the inverts, they get brought up all the time. I remember many professors that would always bring up this expression, hiding in plain sight, or you can't see the forest for the trees. They would bring this up all the time, and it's kind of an obscure thing to just bring up. This was brought up in a math class. Oh, you can't see the forest for the trees. Why would a math teacher bring that up? It's because this is one of the ways that they can explain to their children that don't worry, you'll blend in because they're all around you anyways. When they wake them up in stages. So when they finally wake them up to, hey, this is a huge club, these people are all around you, it's not even rare, not even remotely rare, they can explain these expressions. You can't see the forest for the trees. You couldn't tell that you were surrounded by intersex people because you were surrounded by intersex people. And of course, hiding in plain sight. They don't even hide it. They've always presented themselves. So you don't notice it because it's just been there. It was just out in the open. Here's just another truth in plain sight. They tell you what they're gonna do. A lie so colossal that no one would believe it. This more has to do with the master plan. Nobody would believe that they're going to try to get rid of all natural born men and replace them with nothing but free martins. But that's where it is. When you open your eyes and you see skulls and bones, and you go out there, you will not see men. You will not see men who were born with a penis. You'll see that almost all the people out there with male bone structure, they dress as women. And that's the big truth. John chapter 8, verse 44, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. You live in a big lie. That's why they tell you that women can have Adam's apples. That's why they tell you that bodies come in all shapes and sizes. They're just lying to you because they want to hide the truth from you. You live in Mystery Babylon. It's called Mystery Babylon because it's a mystery. It's something that you have to figure out. My whole life, I've felt like something was wrong. Something I couldn't put my hand on. I just knew something was wrong. And this is it. This is the answer. This is the secret. This is the solution to the mystery. And that's it. Jesus Christ is the truth. The Bible, the King James Bible, it's the truth. You don't live on a flying ball. Look, even here, how they have the NASA Outer Space Fantasyland looking. This isn't what the night sky looks like. You don't live in a random, chaotic world. That's just how Satan likes it. And soon order will be restored. Jesus Christ is going to come back in the clouds and cleanse this place with fire. It's already been cleansed once with water. And the next time, he's coming back with fire. Praise Jesus Christ. Come quickly. God bless everybody.